Etex presents The Coach's Corner with Jeff Rash and Coach Jeff Traylor. Hi, I'm Jeff Rash. Welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm here today with the head coach of the Gilmer Buckeyes, Coach Jeff Traylor. First of all, Coach, congratulations for your 5th appearance in the last 10 years to the state finals, to the big game.
Thank you.
That's pretty incredible. So the way I see it, you've been, since 2004, you've been to the state finals basically every other year. You got 10 years there, right? You got 5 appearances. That's every other year. Pretty good stats. In fact, I don't think there's better stats maybe in the state of Texas.
We've only been 2-2 in those 4, so we got to try to fix that now.
Got to fix that. That's right. We like odd numbers. And you're 33% for your career in Gilmer, basically. It's been the 5th appearance, 15 years, so a third of the time we're in the state championship overall. But when you look at after you really got the program going, we're 50%, and we want to keep that percentage going over the years. But that's an incredible feat. Does that even come into play, or is that completely out of your mind as you guys prepare for the state game?
No, there's some things that come into play. All the media requests, all the stuff you got to do during the week. In 2004, I was probably overwhelmed with all that and didn't know how to handle all that. Because you want to present your community well to everybody. Everybody comes in, much more statewide recognition. And even
there were 7 radio stations in the press box with us.
So you want to try to make sure you take care of all that. Where, college coaches have people that take care of all that for them, or they'll just do it one time a week. Well, high school coaches, I've got me and Amy, so we literally are just taking care of people around the clock. So I think that will help us. It helps me better organize my coaches and my players about when to have the media in here. Not when we don't let them mess it up right, because they come in at 3:30. All of our seniors are off last period, so I've learned some little tricks of the trade that I think will help us this week as far as staying prepared and keeping the main thing, and not get distracted right now.
Last week we talked about victory to you guys means you get to work an extra 100 hours next week. It's 8:30 and 9 o'clock at night as we're filming this, and there's 2 rooms full of coaches in here, each one in front of a monitor watching film. How many hours of film are you going to watch this week, collectively?
I don't know. I know that Saturday we got home about 2:30, and we were all back at work, 6:30 the next morning. We went home probably 6 Saturday, but they all have iPads. I know they watched it all Saturday night. I was here Sunday morning at 8, and I went home at 3 that morning. When you're this close, you just don't want to let one little detail slip. You want to give your kid every advantage possible. You just don't want to put that kid out there unless he has every little bit of information he can have. But we're all running on adrenaline now. We're not tired. You get tired about week 2, 3, 4 in the playoffs. You get really down and tired. When you get to the semifinals, you get a little bit of kick of adrenaline. And when you do that last one like we did, you just run on adrenaline. I've been very blessed. I don't miss work. I haven't missed a day of work. Just because I've just been very blessed with my health. But it never fails. As soon as the season's always over, I get sick almost immediately the next day. So there's something about your body that's just trained to do this. But we're all running on straight adrenaline right now, so we're pretty excited.
Fumes. That's good. Well, the town, I believe, might be running on the same bit of adrenaline. I know I'm nervous wreck. And I know everybody in town has the same scenario. I'm getting phone calls from all over the state. People, I can't hardly get work done at work because everybody wants to come in and talk about the Buckeyes, and that's just part of the joy of what we do here, and that's the part about the legend, if you will, or the program that we have going here has just become so well known statewide that everybody. There's some high expectations which you have to deal with, but the community, we almost have a little bit of that burden ourselves because there's so many people coming in and saying, especially when they see the scores from the last several games.
Well, it's like today, and somebody came by, they meant it well. They're like, well, Coach, we're going to win because we're favored, right? And I'm like, in the last 11 years, tell me when we weren't favored. We've been favored to win every game for 11 years. We're going to be favored to win them all next year. We're going to lose all those kids. And next year, we're going to all be favored. Everybody's going to say, we're favored to win this year, Coach. doesn't mean jack. I mean, it doesn't. No, it's not. It doesn't. Even if the guys that do that knew what they were talking about, understanding the guys that do all this picking have not seen us play one time this entire season. They're reading scores and reading media stuff. They're on computers. They're doing all this stuff. It's not like someone's studying this stuff, and so it really doesn't matter. We got to. If they did know what they're talking about, it's football, and you're playing one game. Now, if it was the best 4 out of 7 series, I always like our chances. In a one-game series, you never know.
Anything could happen.
You just don't
Absolutely.
know.
It's like what happened in Gladewater.
You never know.
Wheels fall off, you feel snake bit, you make mistakes, and that's what happens. I still say we're 21 points better in that game. Now your credibility has been called into question. We talked about the Division I players from Atlanta and how good Atlanta was, and look what they did to Tatum. I mean, my gosh. And by layman's terms, we beat Tatum by a touchdown. I know that means nothing, but that's the way people look at it. We beat Tatum by a touchdown. They beat Tatum, 50-something to 20 or whatever the score was. And then Gilmer comes in and rolls over them 64-25. Go to this last week. We talk about the huge offensive line. Smallest guy on the line is 265 or whatever he was. We got the Division I quarterback, Division I center. We got all this talent on the team. 8 state championships. The Lions winning record, the whole deal. We come into the game anticipating, what's going to happen here, and you guys put up 60. First of all, does that kind of score surprise you? When you see 67-14 at the end of the game on the scoreboard, are you really surprised by that? Is that the way your boys have performed the last 2 games? Is that a surprise to you as well?
We just don't look at it the way y'all do. I mean, we really look at it one play at a time, and we're just trying to win the next play. We're trying to call the next play. And then when you get way ahead like that, you're trying to get kids out of the game so they don't get hurt. You're trying to manage that. Then you're trying to get your young kids in to make sure they're getting better for the next season. Yeah. Then you're trying to get all the media taken care of. Then you're trying to get all your kids fed. Then you're trying to get all the uniforms washed. Then you're trying to get a schedule made for Saturday. You're trying to get officials picked. You're trying to get side of the game. Then Sunday you're making a game plan. And Monday you're doing practice scripts. So
it's just amazing what goes into it.
Doesn't work like y'all's life. The fan gets to talk about all those things. And the only reason I know those things go on because y'all ask me these silly questions. Right? We don't. But the way y'all look at the world is what makes the game so fun. The way we look at the world is what makes it successful. And we both had to have each other. If y'all didn't care so much about the game, my job wouldn't be so important. If I didn't do my job the very best I could and look at the way I did, we wouldn't be as important. So it's part of the game, both ways we see it. It's just we don't see it the way y'all do, and y'all don't see it the way we do. And trust me, you're blessed to not see it the sick way we have to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I prefer my seat. I like my seat.
I'd much rather be a Cowboy fan than have to coach the Cowboys.
I promise you that's a fact. So I enjoy my seat. You keep your seat. I wouldn't want that kind of pressure. And I don't think a lot of people. I certainly don't. I've been around the program since your second year. I've been here the whole time. But you forget all those things that you mentioned, and you only mentioned a fraction of them because I know there's a lot of things you left out. But it's just a lot that goes into this, and it's just amazing to watch this machine. When you go back here in this coach's office, which very few people have ever been able to do. But if you were to come back here and see this hotbed of activity at 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and all the computers going, and guys taking notes, and you look over their shoulder and they're writing statistics on percentage of what they do on third downs and what they do on second down, and there's trends developing, and then you're all our guests compiling all that data that you're watching, and the science that goes into this is just incredible.
Well, that's what frustrates you so much when you run into somebody at the Dairy Queen and they have the audacity to ask you, why did you do this or why did you do that? Well, we don't do anything without some tremendous data because you're always trying to make the right call based on the odds of what the other team's doing. It's always their data versus our data. Then it comes down to your players versus their players. So you're trying to give your kids the best schematic advantage you possibly can. But fan seed is just get the ball to Chris White, get the ball to Jamel in there, and run Blake there, and run Blake there, and throw it down there, and throw it over there. And it's just nothing like that because all fans do is watch the ball.
And you're playing a game of statistics
and the
most
game,
of the time, is that right?
Yeah, all your calls are everything we have written down is something based on we've studied them on. Every formation we're in is something we've studied, and we know how they're going to line up.
You think they'll fail based on how they line up?
If they line up correctly. If they don't, McLean has the chalk glass where we're a little different. Our quarterback checks at the line of scrimmage. So if they don't do what they're supposed to do, McLean checks this what we think will work. where if you had the chalk last in this business, you got a good chance. What I mean by the chalk last, that means if you got on the board and drew up a play, and then I got to go last, I would beat you. Well, if I went first and you got to go next, then you'd beat me.
Yeah.
Well, in football, it really is that way. Whoever has the chalk last, so you want your quarterback to always have the ability to get you into a good play. So, yeah, it's all data-driven. And the great coaches bust their data up. But you got to be careful because you don't want to change everything you do because that's what you did to get here. But you don't want to do the same thing you've always done because, you know, they're over there. West Orange is paying their coaching staff too.
Yeah, they're watching film too.
Cornell Thompson's working hard. They're in the video room right now. They're doing the same things we're doing. So it's really a chess match. And this is my second time to play West Orange. So you learn tendencies about.
Played them in 08 and won that game.
Yeah. So we know each other, you know, at least a little bit. In 08, I didn't know them at all. So you just learn tendencies of coaches and what they think they might do. You have to kind of guess. We know where we're strong. What are they going to do to compensate? They know where we're weak. What are they going to do to try to exploit it? We know where we're weak. We know where we're strong. We can't tell y'all because we don't want to just admit it to everybody.
Sure, yeah.
So there's always coach talk going on where you can't quite tell the truth.
That's right.
Because you can't let the other team know, and you don't want
trade secrets, man.
You don't want Jake Trutter's mama to know that he might be bad at something because Jake Trutter's mama thinks he's perfect. You know, so we got to be careful what we say to you guys as well.
So last week and all the weeks before are now history. They're in the books. You got another successful season no matter what. The only game that matters is the next one, and the next one is against West Orange Star. Incredible winning history at West Orange Star. Their coach has been there for a long time. They have a great defense. Talk to us a little bit about what we're going to face this week.
Well, Cornell's been on the staff there, I think, 30 years. He's been the head coach for 4 or 5. He's a long-time defensive coordinator. In our profession, he's one of the most respected defensive coaches in the country. I mean, he's been in that 50 defense forever. I heard him speak on it years ago. And anytime Cornell's speaking on the 50, I go listen to him because he's a fantastic coach. He's got 3 Division I players in the secondary. He's got number 6 going to Alabama. 2 and 18 have multiple offers from big-time Division I programs. 57's an all-state defensive tackle that no one's blocked yet. 43-2 is an unbelievable nose guard. It's going to be a handful for us. 53 is a 225-pound defensive tackle, and then the 32 is an unbelievable ball player. So in my opinion, they have 7 kids over there that are Division I material and all-state material. So we're going to have, and I know this is hard for people to understand, we're going to have our toughest matchup. I compare them to the 03 Atlanta defense, the 2012 Navasota defense, as far as the caliber of players and the way they're coached. So our offense is going to have their biggest hurdle of the year.
So you basically, what it boils down to, you know, everybody's been saying it should have been Gladewater Gilmer. That would have been the best state game. I've even said that's probably not bad. But really what it sounds like it's coming down to is in Division II, you come out with the best offense in the state against the best defense in the state.
I would agree with that comment. I think that would be fair to say. I do.
So, and what I think the biggest difference is going to be is our defense. I don't know that they faced anybody that's as good as our defense is.
We talked that up. Our defense is tired of hearing about West Orange Stark's defense. That's all they hear about. I'm sure West Orange's offense is tired of hearing about our offense.
Yeah.
I'm sure their offense is coming to the chip on their shoulder like our defense is coming to the game with chip on theirs. But it starts with their quarterback. Name's Jack Dallas. He's an unbelievable, talented kid that runs around and makes plays. And he doesn't act like one or look like one. They really found them a jewel there in him. And I'm very impressed with him. They got those same 3 DBs at wide receiver, 2, 6, and 18. They're big-time playmakers. Their offensive line is extremely – they have a returning all-district center, and he's number 52, and the right tackle is number 73. Those both are returning all-district players. They're their 2 best offensive linemen. So it has the makings for some unbelievable.
They have a good running back, good running game.
Yeah, 21 and 32. The real good outside linebacker both play. 32 is a handful. And I said 6'1", 220.
Yeah,
so he's gonna be tough for us to tackle. So it should be an exciting ball game. We're very excited to be there, and we're ready to do it. It's just been a long season, and this has been our goal, like it is every year. And we're really ready to go see it. We're excited to see how good we really are. We're fixing to really find out how good we really are. We're really excited about that test.
Well, I'm excited about it too. We all are. We've been quoting this on the air, and I know you don't watch the replays. You're too busy watching film for the next game. But we've been talking about. Mike Tyson once said, "Everybody's got a plan until they hit you in the mouth, until you get hit in the mouth," and really that's been a lot of what we've seen out of our defense this year. Is just this last week, got this Division I North Carolina commit come around the corner on the first series and got hit in the mouth hard, and I think it changed his idea of what was going to happen in that game, and I think that's been a great secret weapon that we've had all year, has been a powerful defense to back up the best. And I found out the other day, I didn't realize this, I knew that you guys this year had broken multiple records for our school. We've got a lot of individuals that broke records this year. I don't even know if you're reading this stuff, but you also broke scoring records and yardage records and all kinds of other stuff. I didn't realize the other day, but this season is the second highest scoring season in Texas football history. And when you think about the fact that you guys were pulling back the reins and running the clock in 5 or 6 games and putting in third string and all the backups in every single game except for 2 that I can think of, Tatum and Gladwater. When you think about the fact that record could have been shattered a long time if you didn't choose to be a gentleman, you're looking at what could be. I mean, can you say this is the best offense you've ever coached in Gilmer? Or is that taboo to say as a coach?
Well, Channel 7 asked the same question today, and I'm going to tell them the same thing I told him. I'll let you know Friday at 3 o'clock.
That's fair enough. All right. Folks, it's the big ticket. It's the big game. It's the biggest ticket in town, and there's lots of seats, so please come out and support the Buckeyes. I am so excited. I can't having trouble sleeping at night. I can't work during the day.
Let me mention one thing. Our scout team did an
Absolutely.
unbelievable job. We gave our whole front 7 defensive scout team player of the week. They did Salina's defense perfectly. They studied it really hard. They watched video, came out there. It was Ray Merritt, Miles Chumley, Freddie Curtis, Michael McMillan, John English, and Daniel Darcy did an amazing job of looking just like Salina. And then our offensive scout team player of the week was another freshman named Rashad Ward. So we're really excited about those kids. They're the future of the program, so I want to make sure and get those guys a shout out as well.
Did you have a head hunter of the week again?
We did. Bounty hunter of the week. Tristan Oliveras' kicks are just fantastic. Most touchbacks I've seen in a high school football game since I've been coaching here. And then the special teams player of the week, Blevin Burns had a fantastic game.
Blevin Burns had a great game. Yeah, Blevin Burns had a big game, so we're proud of him. And I'm glad you caught me on that. I almost forgot to do it. So, big ticket this week, Friday, noon at Texas Stadium. And everybody cross your fingers and toes for the Buckeyes to come out on top. Big victory. On behalf of the head coach of the Gilmer Buckeyes, Coach Jeff Traylor, I'm Jeff Rash. Thanks for watching the Coach's Corner.